I am announcing a new merch item and also a new merch store. My first merch store was through Spreadshirt because it was with my MCN and I thought I was getting a better deal. It's a shit deal. Not only is the merch more expensive, but my take of profit for that merch is garbage. So now I have moved on to Teespring and I am introducing this new design, which was actually requested by one of you guys. Make a really snobby mid-2000s band tee style shirt with a brutal font for Become the Night and an anime picture of you fighting lesser and unworthy musicians. That was the most voted up comment on that video when I announced the merch and asked what you guys wanted. So with a little help from one of you guys, I bring you this. This was made by a fan who is also a patron, and it's a badass design. I am super happy with it, and if you want to, please go ahead and give her a shout and tell her thanks and follow her on Instagram. Her name is Dandelion Jones. Links to her Instagram will be in the description. This is available in a number of shirts, hoodies, and believe it or not, the one piece of merch I was shocked that was gonna be cool, leggings. Turns out this design works really well on leggings, so if you ladies want to be not only the most badass but hottest girl at the metal show, go ahead and grab yourself a pair and let me know what you guys think. All right, let's get into the video. Hey guys, it is Mike with Become the Night. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Music Snob. This is the show where you guys ask me questions on an Instagram story where I put one of those little question stickers. Some of them I reply to in another story. Other ones I answer on this show. If you want me to answer your questions, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Become the Night. Let's jump into it. What would you do if elders reacted to Mike the Music Snob? First thing, I would react to it. But yeah, I would be totally shocked if they ever actually acknowledge me. I mean, besides Catherine. Catherine's a sweetie. I just have a feeling that our brands wouldn't cross over the best. But then again, I have no idea. If the elders wound up reacting to me, I would consider that an accomplishment. Let's put it that way. Do you think animals like monkeys enjoy music? Honestly, I think a variety of animals can enjoy music. I haven't looked at any studies on this. This is all circumstantial, anecdotal type stuff. My friend who's like in his 60s, who I kept telling you guys about that I introduced to metal and prog and everything, his cat actually really loves Steve Vai. We're talking about multiple occasions where he would go into his basement, go throw Steve Vai on his big system, and his cat would come downstairs and cuddle up on the couch every single time. Not for any, I shouldn't say not for any other artists, but consistently for Steve Vai, not as much for other artists. So much so that sometimes she would even go up closer to the speakers. I even remember a time hanging out with my buddy George where we would go down to this creek that's in this park in Nashville metro area, and we'd hang out there because it's like off the beaten path. We can just chill and do our own thing. And it was the middle of the night, and this heron comes and lands on this big fucking, like this old pillar that used to be there for like an old train system or something. Long story. Either way, it lands there about 30, 40 yards from us. And yeah, 30 yards. And I'm already jamming out some music right now. I'm jamming out to some Billy Joel on my phone. And then you see the heron just hanging there, and we're like, hey, it's our little heron friend, that's cool. And then I keep playing Billy Joel, and there's a bunch of trees around us. He flies up to one of these trees, less than 10 yards away from our phone, but like really fucking close to us laterally. He's up in a tree on a branch that looks like it's gonna collapse at any moment. And he just tucks his head down and he just kind of hangs out and is just listening to tunes. I thought it was badass. Specifically, I think it was the saxophones that did it. Now again, this could all just be circumstantial BS, but that's just my take on it. What would you do with $1 million? Would you still be making YouTube videos? Weird enough, I have actually considered this. I've actually used my brain power to consider this, I'm sorry. Like if I won the lottery, what would I do with it? One, I would definitely still be making YouTube videos. I just wouldn't make them nearly as often. I'd be spending a lot more time focusing my efforts on making sure that I can record my own stuff as best as possible, getting the best equipment I can for guitars, my rig, my studio, everything. I would up my YouTube game much harder, but then again, I would be making a lot less videos. They would just be way higher quality. But no, YouTube is definitely an integral part of my model, whether or not I make money from it. Why do you think bass is overlooked in metal music? I call this Metallica syndrome. Metallica wasn't the only band to do this, but one of the reasons why bassists have so many jokes made about them is because a lot of times they were just the guitar players who weren't as good as the other guitar players in the band, so they were relegated to doing bass. And because of that, you have a lot of bass players, especially in the underground rock and metal communities, who didn't know how to think very creatively with bass. Also because of that, you have a lot of guitar players who were the main writers for the songs, so their tone would be overblown, overriding a lot of what the bass tone could be. So because of that, in a lot of metal bands, you have very uninteresting bass tracks. At least, that's my take on it. How can you tell if you're overproducing a record or underproducing for that matter? That's all a matter of taste, man. Do you want something to sound squeaky clean perfection, or do you want something to have a little more mistakes in it? There's some people that think that Steve Vai is overproduced garbage. There's some people that think Steve Vai is underproduced and sounds like garbage. That's 100% personal preference. Though I will say there's a lot of stuff in pop where it kind of sucks the humanity out of it, and in rap. And I think that there is something to having that human element of imperfection. Great example of that is a song from Last Song Suggestion Friday, frickin' Willie Nelson. I forget the song name offhand. Either way, it was fantastic. His voice is not something that is like technically amazing, but it's so fantastic to listen to. How did your stand-up go? Your boy is really funny. For those of you that missed Last Song Suggestion Friday, I actually did my first live stand-up set in front of people. This is actually a show that was thrown together by, as you say, my boy Chuck, who is with Prosy Logic. We're actually going to be helping him launch his YouTube channel here next week. But yeah, it went fantastically. We had at least 10 comics, if not more. Most of them were doing stand-up for their first time ever. We had about 100 people show up, I shit you not. And this was not an open mic. This wasn't, oh, just anyone can get up here. This is like people we knew or people that were in the game before. I did surprisingly well. Was I amazing? I would not say I was amazing, but there was a number of people who know me and know the awkwardness that is me that were quite surprised at how well I did. Thanks for asking. Do you watch Adam Neely's videos? If so, what are your thoughts? I don't watch a whole lot of Adam Neely, but I have seen a number of his videos. I think he makes fantastic content. I remember watching his video with Rick Beato and them taking apart, like not taking apart, but sitting down and analyzing fan compositions. I was just like, oh my god. Fuck, I call myself a music nerd. Shit. No, it's guys like Adam that give me something to give myself higher standards for. He is fantastic at what he does. Best guitar you've ever played. It was a Gibson SG Custom vintage reissue. I forget which vintage it was, unless it's just called vintage. I forget. I'm not super familiar with Gibson models. Man, that thing played so damn well. I will say, I don't know what the tone was like because I didn't get to plug it in. This is actually at the Gibson Custom Shop. I was the only asshole there that was left-handed, and they found one of those for me that was left-handed that was ready to ship off to a store. I was like, do you care if I play it? He's like, by all means. Fucking right. The neck on that thing felt so fucking good. It felt like it had already been played for years, which is awesome. But then at the same point, my picking hand, my left hand, it's freaking so smooth. I never think of an SG as easy to play, and man, was that thing silky smooth. Do you think music helps shape the personality of people? Absolutely yes. Music, just like any other information, shapes people when it's absorbed. A person who becomes more familiar with a certain genre of art will be altered by becoming more familiar with it. Now, you're saying something there as far as like people having similar personalities in those communities. I don't think that's always necessarily true. For instance, my personality, my friend Jesse Peck's personality, and my friend Joey Frivola's personalities, all relatively different. There are things about our personalities that are similar, but I would not call us the same. Could you do a collaborative jam with Samurai Guitarist? I would love to. However, I'd actually spoken with him before about doing some collabs, and he wasn't against it. I'd spoken with him about doing a collab on a number of music projects, and one of the big reasons why that hasn't been able to come through is because of me. I've been working on a multitude of different covers and parodies and things, and I haven't finished any of them for a number of reasons. But yeah, at some point I see that happening in the future. I wouldn't expect it anytime soon, but it'll most likely happen at some point. How often do you actually seek out songs you score +, on Song Suggestion Friday? It depends. There's some of them that I listen to on a regular basis. There's some of them that are my favorite fucking songs now. Other ones, not so much. So it varies. When will rock be mainstream again? I don't expect it will ever be mainstream again. And if it is, it won't be in a form that you would specifically recognize as rock. I'm pretty sure rock's mainstream time has come and gone for the most part. And hip hop hit its stride not too long ago, but it already feels like it's becoming a freaking parody of itself. And where the hell do we go from here? There's only so many instruments that we have available to us, and I don't see anyone trying to invent any new instruments that are really catching on with the public. I think the next big genre musical leap will have to be with a new instrument. Who do you main in Smash? The one that I was by far the best at was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. My main was Ike. I would fucking dominate with Ike every fucking time. I kind of suck at it now. I got awfully pissed when in the last Smash Brothers they nerfed him to shit. Ike was awful in the last Smash Brothers game. I haven't gotten my copy of the latest Smash Brothers yet, and to be honest, I wouldn't have a whole lot of time to play it anyway. But once I get back into it, which will probably be another month or two until I get it, I'll let you know. Do you need musical knowledge to fully appreciate prog? It depends on what you mean by musical knowledge. If you mean music theory knowledge, no. If you mean musical knowledge as in an understanding of music to some degree, there are things that you can intuit by being exposed to music without knowing how to put them into words. Yeah, I would say that you need a knowledge of music to fully appreciate prog. However, I would say that you need knowledge of music to fully appreciate any genre, not just prog. If you were a part of Slipknot, what would your mask be? It would be just a stack of printed out pages of the chart and lyrics for She Think My Tractor Sexy, rubber banded around my head against my face. And that is it for Ask a Music Snob. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please go ahead and buy that merch. Fuck, I can't believe I said that shit. But no, seriously, it helps me out a lot. Go support Dandelion Jones. Her shit is in the description as well. If you like this video, if you like what I do on this channel, please support me on Patreon. That is the only way I can keep YouTube my job. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Become the Night. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!